On Monday, December 18th, I went to criminal court at the Surrey Provincial Courthouse, which almost always means I was there to bring you an update on the never-ending legal saga that is Jessica Simpson, formerly known as Jonathan Yaniv. Except something took place that should never happen to any journalist. I became a part of the story, and also the latest victim of this rabid trans activist and criminology student at SFU who goes by Jessica Simpson. This is what happened.
Go in. Go.
Hey, Sheriff! This guy's up for assault. Why aren't you protecting this reporter?
Do you know what "fuck off" means? I'll get him to bite you. I'll get him to bite you.
Threaten me.
Drea Humphrey here with Rebel News, and that was me almost getting bulldozed by Jessica Serenity Simpson and its so-called news service dog named Rexy. Now, in my next report, I'm going to go into more detail about why I say so-called service dog and the outcome of Simpson's latest criminal case, which involves the dog, a case for which I had gone to cover for you on Monday. But as I said in the beginning of this report is about the events that unfolded just before what you just saw happen. The charging and threatening of me out front of the courthouse while a sheriff did absolutely nothing. Those of you who have followed our extensive coverage of Jessica Simpson on our website called YanivTrial.com, lock that in the brain, are probably more familiar with Simpson by their former name, Jonathan Yaniv, or even by their coined name, the Wax My Balls guy, because Simpson has a history of suing immigrant women who were estheticians, because they were uncomfortable waxing her male genitalia. Now, Simpson also has a violent history, one I can't touch on everything in one report, but that violent history includes threatening, attacking, and assaulting Rebel News reporters. And I don't know why, perhaps it has something to do with us not backing down, like state-backed media, from exposing the long leniency streak this individual has in the courts. This same individual who often cries and says that they are victim of transphobia in those courts. Take a look at the time that Simpson attacked my colleague David Mency with a bright pink cane because he dared to question Simpson about sexually explicit messages that were sent to minor girls.
You're not going to go close to her.
Get out. Get away.
Don't you?
Get away.
You better
Get
not.
away.
You better not.
No.
You make contact.
No.
You're going to go to jail.
You're going to jail. Go away.
I know. Hey,
Go
don't
away.
touch me.
You're going to jail.
Jonathan, why do you send sexually explicit messages to young girls?
Go away.
You're going
to jail. Go away.
Huh?
My iPad.
Why don't you?
Go away. Go away. You go away. Get off the property.
Okay, that's 4 shots.
Get off
Five.
the property.
You go away. Huh?
Go. You go
Excuse
away.
me.
Get off
Go
the
away.
property.
Look,
Go away.
there's lots
Go
of
away.
eyewitnesses.
I don't care.
Go away.
Go away.
Huh?
Go. You are a provoker.
I'm a provoker?
You go away. No, get away from him.
That's okay. Please, I'm really hoping for...
Now here's Simpson attacking my former colleague Cian Bexty right in front of the same courthouse, while Bexty was covering then Yaniv's hearing for brandishing a prohibited weapon on the popular transgender commentator's YouTube channel. Her name is Blair White.
Yaniv, will you be pleading guilty? What?
Go.
No,
Go.
don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Hey! Stop! Go away from me. Go.
Fucking hell.
Go away from me.
Jesus, get away from me,
Go
you crazy
Get
thing.
away from me. Get away. Get the away from me.
Simpson has since been found guilty for assaulting Bexty and then pled guilty to possessing a prohibited weapon and also pled guilty to uttering threats of bodily harm and death to child protection activist Billboard Chris.
Stop. I will kill you. You're gonna get another bomb threat to my phone? I'm watching you. Get away from my car. Get away from my car. What do you not understand, you asshole? Get away from my car. You want to call another bomb threat in? Here you go. Get away. You want to get punched, don't you? Go away. Go away from my car.
Now tell me, When was the last time you heard of someone assaulting a journalist, brandishing a prohibited weapon, sending sexually explicit messages to minors, and threatening to kill someone and never seeing a day behind bars? In fact, it wasn't even until Simpson's third criminal conviction that the courts even decided to give Simpson a criminal record. Instead, they just kept giving Simpson probation with no record and expecting Simpson to somehow all of a sudden behave, which of course didn't happen. Now, you'll have to let me know why you think this delicate flower is getting such favor in the courts by letting me know in the comments. But what led up to the moment Simpson threatened to sick that so-called service dog Rexy on me while I was asking questions? Well, Simpson was facing 3 charges, all connected to the Chocolate Lab's unruly behavior, who is unfortunately owned by an unruly master, while visiting a retirement home of Simpson's mother, who also has a violent streak, including the time she almost took off my other colleague, Sheila Gunn Reid's head. Like, you can't make this stuff up.
Okay, keep your hands off me.
Whoa.
But anyways, this dog was running around this retirement home, and after repeated attempts to try to get Simpson to contain the dog, control the dog, and that not happening, an elderly man named Gerald Funk, who's 70 years old, pushed the dog off of a chair, and that push was met with Simpson full force coming at the elderly man, pushing that elderly man with full force, like I said. Now, that whole incident resulted in 3 different charges. One was a alleged assault for Mr. Funk, and the other was a pulling a fire alarm, believe it or not. After Simpson had called the police, Simpson also lied. So there was a charge connected to that. Lied and said that it was the elderly man who assaulted Simpson. But before the judge made his decision, court took a break at lunchtime, and I was waiting outside front of the courthouse with my bodyguards by my side for Simpson to come out so I could ask 2 simple questions. One, is Rexy truly a service dog? And 2, does Simpson have anything to say to the elderly man named Gerald Funk or his probably concerned relatives? Now, before Simpson exited those front doors, Simpson abruptly changed direction and went and was talking to sheriffs due to history of Simpson having discussions with sheriffs at this courthouse and making falsehoods about Rebel News reporters. I figured it might have something to do with myself, but it turns out the falsehoods or alleged falsehoods may have been or were tied to a woman named Carrie Simpson, no relation, who was attending the case. Simpson is a legal advocate and the founder of a parental rights organization called Culture Guard, and she helped both Billboard Chris and an autistic independent journalist who's also been threatened by Simpson before in the past. According to a lady attending court with Mr. Funk, this is what she overheard Simpson saying inside of the courthouse. I just want to know, who is Yaniv calling the police on?
It's Carrie, I believe. I believe this is Carrie. I'm assuming that's who it is. So, yeah. She just said that she's calling the police on you because you're going to assault her. So.
Are you going to assault, or are you going to assault Simpson?
Well, apparently, I have a long history of going to, according to Yaniv, but no, that's not my intention nor desire in any way, shape, or form.
So we waited and waited and eventually waited until we saw 2 officers enter to answer the call. After a while, I went in myself to see what was going on, and it appeared that the sheriffs at the courthouse may be giving Simpson some favoritism. Maybe they believed that Simpson was, in fact, in risk. So it looked as though Simpson was going to come out a back door. So I exited again and was waiting in a way where I could see the back door and see the front door just in case, to try to find out what exit had happened. And eventually I saw that Simpson was coming out of the front door, and that's when I ran forward to ask the following. Jessica, is your dog, it's just a question, this is press, thank you very much. Is your dog a real service dog or just identifying?
Go away.
Go away from me.
Go.
Back off.
Go.
Do you have anything to say to Mr. Funk's family?
Go.
Back off.
Go.
Back off.
You know what off means? I'll
Control your dog. Don't threaten me. Do you think he'll get a consequence for being so aggressive this time?
Sheriff, I want your badge number. I know it, but I want you to show it that you allowed this woman to be nearly assaulted.
Being that close to the rage of Jessica Serenity Simpson is not something I want to do, although it's important we cover these cases because, again, this violent reoffender right outside of the courthouse is charging at a reporter, very similar to when he pummeled my former colleague Kian Bexley right in front of this courthouse, but continues to get slaps on the wrists one after another. Now, I'm going to go inside and definitely do a police report on that, threatening me to sick a so-called service dog on me is not okay. And, I'm quite ashamed with the sheriff as well, who didn't try to intervene at all. I don't know what that is. Some of you might be asking, well, Drea, where were your bodyguards? They are here. They're by me right now. But what had happened was because Simpson was allegedly making a police report and officers did come to attend inside, we thought that Simpson was going to be assisted through a side door. So we were actually around this corner. My security was helping be my eyes and ears in the situation, watching that door. And then out of the other corner of my eye, I saw Culture Guards Carrie Simpson, who you saw at the beginning of this report. She said, "Oh, coming out this way." And so I yelled for my security and took off, but it all happened so fast. This is a highly unpredictable individual, and I had to ask some questions for you guys, for the press. So I don't know where this is going to go, but if you do want to contribute to our safety and to our coverage that is exposing just what happens when you cry and say that you are a victim of transphobia, what can happen over and over, what you can get away with, please go to YanivTrial.com. You can contribute to our security costs, and you can also contribute to exposing this continued story. Now, that could have gone down a whole lot differently. I had no idea how this dog, under Simpson's rule, would handle such a command to hurt me. And I already knew how dangerous Simpson is and the vengeance Simpson has for Rebel News reporter. Perhaps the most shameful thing is that the reasonable expectation I had of some form of protection from the courthouse sheriff was like vapor in the wind. Just another disappointment surrounding how those who are supposed to keep the peace and the public safe are bending down to this individual who repeatedly actually is a risk to people in the public. But I do know one thing. Even though I was afraid at that moment, I was not afraid to file a police report, and I'm certainly not afraid to press charges against this bully. If you try to threaten us, assault us, or intimidate us out of fulfilling our promise to the public to report on the other side of the story fearlessly, the stories that state-backed media ignores, you will fail, because this is Rebel News, and I'm Drea Humphrey. If you appreciate that despite this individual continuously being a threat to us, we don't back down from bringing you the other side of the story that sheds light on court leniency for a mysterious reason that I'm sure you could figure out or assume on your own, then go to YanivTrial.com. We've incurred many security costs over the years of covering this individual, and clearly we need to keep that up. We've also had to pay to defend ourselves from a bogus lawsuit that thankfully was eventually dropped from this individual. And of course, there's all the other costs involved in just doing regular reports like the ones you're seeing right now. So again, please go to YanivTrial.com if you see value in our journalism, and also to catch up more on this individual who doesn't seem to want to be exposed.